If there's one thing surfing the clouds and looking at the world from 35,000 feet for the last 17 years has taught me, is that no dream is too big to come true, no goal too difficult to achieve, and no challenge too gigantic to overcome. It's all a state of mind. My dream of being a pilot started when I was 8 years old, stargazing into the skies, wondering if I could possibly fly one of those big jumbo jets which look so tiny to me. I used to see lit up in the starry skies with the strobe lights. I would catch myself drifting away into my dreams. Big dream of flying up into the skies one day. And then I would bring myself to reality, the Mother Earth. Why would I let myself dream such a big dream when in reality it seemed just impossible for me? I knew that if I had to make that dream come true, I could not do it solo. And my parents, my family, the society would never let me achieve it because it was not the expected norm. Despite it all, I knew I had a passion for flying. There was a fire inside of me. I was robust, resilient, and focused. I used to tell myself, it's okay, it's your dream, dream it. Stay target driven on your goal and you will achieve it. Just continue to vision and work towards that direction. Do not ever give up. This is what my inner voice told me every single day, every single second, creating and transforming me into another human being, the person that I have become today. When I was in 11th grade, I chose science because it was a prerequisite in order to become a pilot. Academically, I was always inclined, but I came from the moderate means. My background was extremely humble. My family couldn't afford to send me to a flying academy. My teachers, knowing my family's limitation financially, discouraged me to pursue flying and asked me to switch to humanities instead, so I can have a more meaningful learning towards my domesticated life. But those tears and pain only fuels my fire further. The day my teacher told me that I'd never be able to make it, I took that as a challenge head on and said to myself that nothing could hold me back. I repeated it over and over that nobody had the power to dictate what I could or could not do, except for myself. It's not over until you for yourself say it's over. Another obstacle I faced was that I did not speak English until my 9th grade. I knew that in order to become a pilot, I needed to be proficient in English, but I didn't let that hold me back. Again, I was focused, determined. I used to go to my neighbor's house and request them to switch on the English channels on their newly bought television set. I was able to learn English from the Star movies and the MTVs of the new India as it was becoming. You could say I'm the true blue MTV generation. Today, I can speak English fluently in 2 different accents, Indian and American. And the switch between them is so reflexive for me, I almost don't even realize it myself. And I think I've come to embrace it quite beautifully. So I consider that as my adaptability today, which is great. Also, if you ask me today, I'd be able to sketch the entire career graph of Richard Quest because I have literally watched him all across his career. As time progressed, I slowly made my way towards my goal. Everyone around me was so convinced that I could not do it. Every time someone told me to give up, it propels me even further. Due to my gender profile, people could not fathom the fact or the thought of a female being a part of the aviation industry, let alone commanding a behemoth jet like a Boeing 777 worth $375 million. My mother was stunned and started crying when I told her I wanted to become a pilot. My father wasn't very convinced with my career choice either. And in the hope of dissuading me from the dream, he urged me to apply for my college post my 12th grade. Well, God's grace, I got into pretty much every college that I applied to. After which my father encouraged me to go and study in the hope that I would, well, naturally let go of the obsession of being a pilot. Naturally, I chose India's premier institute, the best college of India at that time, and even now, to pursue my degree. As soon as I joined the college, I broke my piggy bank and used all the money that I had gathered over the years throughout my childhood that everybody had given me to enroll myself in a good aviation ground school. There were two ways to achieve my aviation goal. One was more accessible and expensive, and the other one was cheaper and more complex. I chose to do it the hard way, to save money, but that meant more meticulous work from my end. I used to travel endlessly to the other side of Delhi for my aviation studies every single day. Since I did not have any time during the weekends, and there were also more classes over the weekends, I had to study late every single night to complete my college, science, and aviation assignments, even under the streetlights someday, as there was no electricity by the time I got home. Friends would go out to parties, and they never quite understood why I would not join them. But nothing around me mattered, except for my goal. I could not deviate because of my mental and financial pressures. I had to prove my grit to my parents that I was serious about my aviation dream and that it was not something that I was willing to let go of. But most importantly, I had to prove to myself. My ambition made me quite unpopular in college. I was never understood. People tend to gravitate towards those who are like-minded. And well, I was very different. But I wore my imaginary blinkers and the unacceptability never really bothered me. And most definitely didn't diffuse, let alone diminish that fire burning within. Throughout those 3 years of college, I think my parents felt bad watching me run around the city to attend my classes, college, which led them to have a change of heart finally. And they agreed to take a loan to give me my wings. After 3 years, the grueling years of graduation and aviation studies together, it was actually like a dual degree program. With God's grace, I cleared my exams with good grades. It was so exhilarating, but little did I know that my biggest challenge was yet to come. When I came back from flying, the aviation sector was in a slump and there were no jobs around. Waiting for a job was difficult with all those unpaid loans mounting on my head. I used to teach aviation to students for free, which helped me ensure that I didn't fall behind my learning curve in the aviation industry advancements. Finally, Air India came with a few job openings for pilots. It was the only international airline at that time, so I was almost amongst 3,000 applicants. The entrance exam for the job was incredibly tough and undoubtedly the most important one of my life so far. To this day, every time I step into the cockpit, I feel a sense of wonder and pride reminiscing the journey that I've had up until now. And the gratitude for having to battle and come such a long way, all those challenges that stacked up against me, knocking off one stack of challenge at a time. The aviation industry is a demanding one. And I get many questions from people asking if I ever felt overburdened with my hectic schedule or regret giving up something, being where I'm today. However, in my opinion, the very description of sacrifice is a very vague one. I believe that our life is like a pie in which 20% is your work, 25% is your family, 4% is all your loved and near ones, and 51 massive percent is you. If you can keep that 51% alive and vibrant, then I think you are sacrificing nothing at all. If you're happy, you radiate that happiness into the remaining 49%, into the remaining world around you. I am here today simply because I have followed and chased my dreams. I chose my path, and I'm here to bear its consequences. The good, the bad, the sad, the ugly, the amazing, the stupendous, and the breathtaking. Everything I have done it on my terms. And I have risen to every challenge and God's grace, conquered all of them one by one. This is something that we can implement in order to remind ourselves that the key to happiness is finding your own inner voice, your own inner joy. Choose your path, your challenge. Be happy, be true, be driven. Do not deviate and work towards it tirelessly. When the people at the helm of the future have this kind of mentality, it can significantly impact the future of this planet, this beautiful Mother Earth that we live in. Our world will benefit from a more creative, content, mindful future generation, eager to pursue, climb, and conquer the mountain of challenges. After all, remember, the view is always best from the top. Thank you.